This is the video solutions on multiplying polynomials. We're going to do the odds here, and the first question is you're going to take x and you're going to multiply it with 2x plus 5. You're going to distribute. Okay, you're going to remove your parentheses. There's multiplication here. So I'm going to end up getting x times 2x plus x times 5. Now, we're going to rearrange the terms. So this becomes 2x times x, and then 5 times x, because the order in which you multiply doesn't matter. 2x times x is 2x squared plus 5x, and we're done. We can't combine these terms. They're not like, and we got rid of our parentheses. So this is number 1. Number 3, we have 2x times 2x minus 4. Yeah, looks like there's a 3 there. Okay. Distributive property. So we have 2x times 3x minus 2x times 4. We're going to rearrange the terms here. This is 2 times 3 times x minus 2 times 4 times x. So wherever there's multiplication, which I have here, 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 and here, you'll notice these signs here, I can actually rearrange those terms in a way that I can simplify. 2 times 3 is 6, x times x is x squared, 2 times 4 is 8, that's times x. We get 6x squared minus 8x. Number 5. 3x times 4x plus 1. So there's multiplication here. Distribute. We get 3x times 4x plus 3x times 1. Now I can rearrange these terms and say 3 times 4 times x plus, well, 3x times 1 is just 3x. So combine these terms here that you see. 3 times 4 is 12. X times x is x squared, so you get 12x squared plus a 3x. These terms are not like, so we can't add. And we're done. Number 7, you have x squared times 4x plus 3. You're going to distribute, and we get x squared times 4x plus x squared times 3. Rearrange the terms here so you can actually multiply here, or you can simplify. Now, x squared times 4x we can write as 4x times x squared. And then 3 times x squared we can write as 3x squared. So I can multiply my x with x squared and get x cubed, and I have plus 3x squared. And you're done. X squared times 2x minus 1. We're going to distribute. We're going to get rid of the parentheses. This is going to give us, let's write it down, x squared times 2x minus x squared times 1. We can rearrange these terms here because we're multiplying. And you'll get 2x times x squared minus, well, I don't have to rearrange the x squared times 1 because x squared times 1 is simply x squared. All I have to do now is use properties of exponents here, and I get 2x to the third minus x squared. Number 11. X plus 3 times x minus 4. And so we have here FOIL. X and 3, x, and negative 4. So remember in class we built this FOIL box. Okay? Now we're going to multiply here. This is how the FOIL box works, in case you guys forgot. You're going to look at it this way. Here, let's say we have our rows. Let's do it this way. These two terms are our rows, and these two terms are the columns. So I have an x plus 3, I have an x row and a 3 row, and an x column and a negative 4 column. What you're going to do now is multiply every row with every column here. You're going to fill in these blank spaces. So the first one is going to be here. This box is x times x, and we know that is x squared. The second one is going to be x times negative 4. The third one's going to be 3x, and then the last one's going to be 3 times negative 4. So we multiplied every row with every column. To point out to you, this is my f term, my first term, my outer term, my inner term, and my last term in FOIL. Multiply your rows and columns, and you're going to do this for every one of these FOIL kind of questions. So I'm going to erase these, and I'm going to simplify here. X times x, we already know that to be x squared, so we're going to write that down. The O term, which is x times negative 4, is described as negative 4 times x. We can switch this because the order in which you multiply doesn't matter. Your I term is still a 3x, and your last term is 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. So notice here, the only terms that you can combine are these two, the negative 4x and the positive 3x. You can think of that as owing 4 apples and having 3 apples. So we have x squared minus x minus 12, and you're done. This is what you do for number 11. Number 13, x minus 2 times x plus 5. You're going to use FOIL. So remember, you have your rows, you have your columns. Let's bring out the FOIL box. X, negative 2. Multiply every row with every column. X times x, x squared. X times 5, 5x. Negative 2 times x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times positive 5 is a negative 10. Write down your terms. X squared plus 5x minus 2x minus 10. I have 5 apples. I owe 2 apples. You have x squared plus 3x minus 10. And you're done. This is number 13. Number 15. X plus 4 times x plus 7. We're going to have to use FOIL. My rows, my columns. Okay. X and 4, x and 7. Multiply rows, multiply your columns. X times x is x squared. X times 7 is 7x. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 7 is 28. You get x squared plus 7x plus 4x plus 28. You can combine here your apples. You have 7 apples plus 4 apples. I get x squared plus 11x plus my 28, and you're done. This is number 15. Let's look at 17. 17 is x minus 1 times x minus 7. You're going to use FOIL. Now remember, you have your rows and your columns. X at negative 1, x at negative 7. Let's multiply our rows with our columns. X times x is x squared. X times negative 7, negative 7x. Negative 1 times x is simply negative x, and negative 1 times negative 7 is positive 7, so you got x squared minus 7x minus x plus 7. X squared minus 8x plus 7. And you're done. That's number 17. Number 19 is 2x minus 1 times x minus 5. You're going to use FOIL. Multiply your rows with your columns. All right, you get a 2x row, you get a negative 1. X, negative 5. Okay. Multiply your rows with your columns again, and let's see what we get. 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times negative 5, negative 10x. Negative 1 times x is negative x, and negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. So you get 2x squared minus 10x minus x plus 5. That gives you 2x squared minus 11x plus 5. Because we can combine our like terms here and here. Just think of those as apples. I owe 10 apples, I owe 1 apple, I owe 11. (21) 3x plus 1 times x plus 4. Okay, so by now, I think we know we have to do a FOIL box. This is FOIL, so I'm just going to go straight to it. This is a 3x and a 1. This is an x and a 4. Okay, that's the essence of this homework, is to use FOIL. So, okay, if you want, we have to write it down. Here you go. Here's FOIL. Multiply the rows together, and then the column. 3x times x, 3x squared. 3x times 4, 12x. 1 times x is x, and 1 times 4 is 4. 3x squared plus 12x plus x plus your 4. 3x squared, just notice that I have 12 apples plus an apple gives me 13 apples plus 4. That's number 21. Okay. 23. X plus 5. Okay, let's bring our FOIL box out here. Multiply your rows with your columns so that 4x times 3x is 12x squared. 4x times 7 is 28x. 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times 7 is 35. So you get 12x squared plus 28x plus 15x plus 35. Notice here, 28 apples plus 15 apples. So we have 12x squared plus, looks like it's going to be 43x plus 35. And you're done. (25), we have an exponential. X plus 4 to the second power. And you guys know what that is really x plus 4 times x plus 4. This is my base here is x plus 4. Again, we use FOIL. So, x and 4, x and 4. Maybe we use something lighter here. Let's double check. We're going to multiply. That's a little too light, so let's stick with the purple, I guess. Multiply your rows together and your columns. X times x is x squared. X times 4, 4x. 4 times x, 4x. 4 times 4 is 16. So I have x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16 gives us x squared plus 8x plus 16. Notice I have 4 apples plus 4 apples, and that gives me my 8 apples. And you're done. (27), we have another exponential. The base here is x minus 5. It's my base. So it's actually 2 copies there, and so we have x minus 5 times x minus 5. Again, you FOIL. X, negative 5. X, negative 5. Multiply your rows with your columns. X times x is x squared. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. And negative 5 times a negative 5 is a positive 25. So when we write down the terms, let's notice that the only terms we can combine are the O and I terms. Go back. O and I. I owe 5 apples. And I owe another 5 apples. That means, ultimately, I'm going to owe 10 apples. So I have x squared minus 10x plus 25. And we're done. (29). We have 3x plus 2 to the second power. Again, I have a base here that's repeated twice. So this is 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2. We're going to use FOIL. 3x and 2, 3x and 2. 3x times 3x. Now, let's multiply every row with every column. 3x times 3x gives you 9x squared. 3x times 2 is 6x. 2 times 3x is 6x. And 2 times 2 is 4. So you get 9x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 4. 6 apples plus 6 apples gives you 12 apples. So you have 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And you're done. Number 31. 4x minus 1 to the second power. So we have our base here of 4x minus 1. And this is multiplied to the second power. 4x minus 1 times 4x minus 1. We're going to use FOIL. Multiply every row with every column. So that 4x times 4x is 16x squared. 4x times negative 1 is negative 4x. Negative 1 times 4x is negative 4x. Negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So you end up with 16x squared minus 4x minus another 4x plus your 1. I owe 4 apples, I owe 4 apples. 16x squared minus 8x plus 1. And you're done. (33) x plus 2 times x minus 2. Now, I want you to notice a few things about this. This is special. We still have to do FOIL. So I'll write this down that we have to have FOIL here. Meaning, you have this x and 2 with x and 2. We're going to do our FOIL box like before. You multiply our first terms or every row with every column. First terms, outer terms, inner terms, and last. But I want you to notice that they have the same first terms and the same last terms. Meaning, these two terms are the same. X and x are the same. 2 and 2 are the same. How they differ is the signs here. Plus and minus. So I want you to emphasize that scenario because something interesting is going to happen. X times x is simply x squared. X times 2 is 2x. Now let's be careful. We forgot the sign here. So this is actually negative 2x. Okay, that's better. Now notice this is my first term, my outer term. My inner term is going to be 2 times x, which is 2x. And the last term here is going to be a positive 2 times a negative 2, which is negative 4. So when I write down all these terms again, we have x squared minus 2x plus 2x minus 4. The O and I terms, take a look at what happens here. Your O and I term. This is the first term, and this is the last term in FOIL. Your O and I terms cancel. And I'm going to write this down here. And I'm going to highlight it. It's that important. This always happens in this situation where you have the same first terms and the same last terms and they differ in sign. You're going to get x squared minus 4. So I want to emphasize this number 33 and the rest that behave similarly. Your O and I terms are going to go away. Now, I'll talk about that as I did in class, and I'll remind you here on your homework. 35, x plus 5 times x minus 5. Same first terms, same last terms, and they differ by these signs. It's plus and minus. So when I use FOIL, my O and I terms will go away. Okay, let's double check. First, outer, inner, last. Now, I'm going to move away from this purple business that I've been doing here with you. It starts to get a little busy, at least on my end. I can only imagine what you guys are thinking with all these colors. So let's see if we can handle this with minimizing the colors here. So now x times x gives you x squared. X times -5 is -5x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times -5 is -25. So x squared minus 5x plus 5x minus 25. Again, first term, outer, inner, and last. Notice again, if I owe 5 apples and I have 5 apples, my apples are gone. I just have the F term and the L term, the first term and the last term. My O and I term here, they cancel each other out. This is x squared minus 25. $37. X plus 7 times x minus 7. Again, first terms, last terms are the same. Plus and minus, they're opposites. The O and I terms will go away. X and 7, x and minus 7. First terms, outer, inner, and last. Okay. X times x is x squared. X times -7, -7x. 7 times x is 7x. 7 times -7 is -49. So I got x squared minus 7x plus 7x minus 49. I owe 7 apples. I have 7 apples. The O and I terms cancel. X squared minus 49. And you're done. $39. 2x plus 5. 2x minus 5. Same first terms, same last terms, and they differ by sign, plus and minus. 2x plus 5, 2x minus 5. (2x times 2x becomes 4x squared. 2x times -5 is -10x. 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times -5 is minus 25. So notice here, first terms, outer terms, inner terms, and last give you 4x squared minus 10x plus 10x minus 25. Your O and I terms here are going to go away. First terms, outer, inner, and last. 4x squared minus 25. And you're done. $41. 4x plus 1 times 4x minus 1. Same first terms here. First terms, last terms, they differ in their sign, plus and minus. For x in 1, for x in minus 1. (16x squared), -4x, positive 4x, -1. First, outer, inner, and last. Notice again here, let's kind of do this a little differently. O and I terms will cancel. So you have 16x squared minus 1. (43) x plus 3, x squared minus 2x plus 4. Now I can't use the acronym of FOIL exactly here because of the fact that you don't have a pair of terms. You don't have a first, outer, inner, last, and again here. Not in the same way. But let's go about it the way we have been. In other words, let's let this be our rows here, these two terms. And let's let these three terms be our columns. And we'll talk a little bit more why you can't really say FOIL. So I have my x term here, my 3, in other words, my two rows. Now I have x squared minus 2x plus 4. We're going to go with the same procedure, meaning I'm going to multiply every row here with every column. But this time we have 3 columns. So again, there's 6 boxes here, and the terms here for FOIL, or the letters, are F-O-I-L. There's 4 terms. So this is kind of FOIL-ish, if you want to think of it that way. FOIL-ish. Well, let's multiply your terms. Okay, x times x squared is actually x cubed. X times negative 2x is actually negative 2x squared. X times 4, 4x. 3 times x squared, 3x squared. 3 times negative 2x is a negative 6x, and 3 times 4 is a 12. So notice something here. I'm going to erase these guidelines in purple. Let's bring out the red. Let's notice something. These two diagonal terms we're going to combine because they're both of the same type. These two diagonal terms we're going to combine because they're both of the same type. You have here x cubed. Now, 3x squared minus 2x squared is simply plus x squared. Negative 6x plus 4x is negative 2x, and then this is plus a 12. If we look at it this way, we can combine like terms easily, and we can actually deduce our answer in minimal amount of steps. That's 43. 45 is similar. You have 2x minus 1, and you have x squared plus 3x minus 5. We're going to look at it the same way. Rows and columns. 2x minus 1, x squared, 3x minus 5. Multiply every row with every column. Two x times x squared is 2x cubed. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. Negative 1 times x squared is negative x squared. Negative 1 times 3x is negative 3x. Negative 1 times negative 5 is positive 5. Whew. Okay, we multiplied every row with every column here. Now go back. Let's erase some of these guidelines here in purple so we can actually notice the diagonals. These terms are like, and these terms are like. So 2x cubed is going to go first. Negative x squared plus 6x squared is positive 5x squared. Negative 3x minus 10x is negative 13x plus 5, and you're done. And this is 45. 47 x squared minus x plus 3 times 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Again, I have my rows, I have my columns. Let's bring out our for box. X squared minus x, positive 3, these are my rows. 2x squared, positive 3x, and negative 4, here are my columns. Multiply every row with every column. X squared times 2x squared is 2x to the 4th. X squared times 3x is 3x cubed. X squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. Negative x times 2x squared is negative 2x cubed. Negative x times 3x is negative 3x squared. Negative x times negative 4 is 4x. 3 times 2x squared is 6x squared. 3 times 3x is 9x. And 3 times negative 4 is a negative 12. So notice this. This is a 3-row, 3-column problem. You can't call it FOIL exactly. Again, it is FOIL-ish in nature, because there's 9 boxes here. Now let's remove the guidelines so that we can actually combine like terms. Notice the diagonals again here. Negative 2x cubed plus 3x cubed. We can combine those two. 6x squared minus 3x squared minus 4x squared. We can combine these 3 terms. And a 9x and a 4x, we can combine those last 2 terms. So we're going to get here 2x to the 4th. Now, negative 2x cubed plus 3x cubed is plus an x cubed. 6x squared minus 3x squared minus 4x squared is a negative x squared. 9x plus 4x is 13x. This is minus 12. And we're done. This is how we multiply polynomials.